All right, welcome in. Get ready because today's explainer is going to completely unlock a major upgrade for your writing. If you've ever looked at your own sentences and thought, man, these are way too short, or maybe they feel a bit repetitive, or they just aren't flowing the way you hear native speakers talk, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to master something called relative clauses. Now, I know, grammar terms can sound a little dry, but I want you to think of relative clauses simply as the ultimate sentence upgrader. Literally, this is the secret sauce to achieving that smooth, natural writing fluency we're all chasing.
Okay, let's dive right into a classic before and after. Take a look at these two sentences. I have a friend, she speaks Japanese. Right? Does it get the point across? Sure, absolutely, but it sounds kind of choppy, doesn't it? Almost like a robot is talking. Now contrast that with this one. I have a friend who speaks Japanese. Wow, so much smoother. We took two separate, honestly, somewhat weak ideas and just fused them together into one incredibly natural thought. That tiny word who right there in the middle, that is what I like to call grammar glue. And today we are going to learn exactly how to use this glue to completely transform your sentences.
So, let's kick things off with Section 1, the sentence upgrader.
Consider this, level 1 of our upgrade, where we officially define how we actually fuse these separate ideas together. So, what exactly is a relative clause anyway? Well, by definition, it's simply a clause that gives more information about a noun. It attaches extra details directly to a person, a place, or a thing. And here's our master formula for today. You start with your noun, you add your relative pronoun or adverb, that's your grammar glue, and then you just add the rest of your clause. So for example, the woman who lives next door is a doctor. Woman is the noun, who is the pronoun, and lives next door is that extra information. It usually begins with a relative pronoun like who, whom, whose, which, or that. Or it can start with a relative adverb like where, when, or why.
Moving right along to Section 2, choosing your grammar glue.
All right, welcome to Level 2. This is where we need to figure out exactly which type of glue to use for different situations, because, spoiler alert, they aren't all interchangeable. The rules of the game are actually pretty simple, but they totally depend on the context. If you're adding information about a person and that person is the subject doing the action, you use who, like, the teacher who helped me is kind. But if the person is the object of the action, you're gonna use whom. The person whom I met was friendly. Next up, we have possession. If something belongs to someone, your glue is whose. For example, the girl whose bag was stolen reported it. See how it links the girl directly to her stolen bag? Now, moving away from people, if you were talking about animals or things, you reach for which. The phone which I bought is expensive. And finally, we have the great multitasker, that. That can refer to people, animals, or things, mainly in defining clauses, like the movie that we watched was exciting.
But hey, we don't just have pronouns in our toolkit, we also have relative adverbs. These are absolutely perfect when you need to attach crucial context to your nouns. If your noun is a place, just use where. Think about it. This is the house where I grew up. If you're adding detail about a specific time, your glue is when. I'll never forget the day when we first met. And if you're attaching a reason to something, you simply use why. These adverbs seamlessly weave all that rich context right into the very fabric of your sentence.
Which brings us to Section 3, essential versus extra information. Now that we have our glue sorted out, let's step up to Level 3. This is where we add some true nuance to our writing by determining how critical our extra details actually are. You see, there are two totally different types of relative clauses. First, we have defining or restrictive clauses. These provide absolutely essential information about the noun. Take this example. The car that was parked outside has been towed. If we completely take away the clause, that was parked outside, we are left with the car has been towed. But which car? We don't know. The clause defines the car. Without it, the core meaning fundamentally changes. Also, notice there are 0 commas used for this type of clause. Now, contrast that with non-defining or non-restrictive clauses. These just add extra non-essential flavor. The sentence completely makes sense without it. Paris, which is the capital of France, attracts millions of tourists. If we remove that middle clause, we get Paris attracts millions of tourists. The core meaning is exactly the same. The extra info is just a nice little bonus. And the golden rule here is that for these non-essential flavor clauses, commas are always used. They act like little handles, letting you lift the extra info in and out of the sentence.
All right, Section 4, the invisible pronoun cheat.
We are flying through these upgrades today. Consider this level 4 the absolute cheat code of relative clauses, where you can make your writing sound unbelievably natural. So, I have a rule breaker question for you. Now that we've learned all these grammar glue words, who, which, that, do we always have to use them? Like, can we ever just drop the relative pronoun completely and make the glue invisible? What do you think?
Well, the crucial point is, yes, you absolutely can drop it, but only under a very specific condition. You can omit the relative pronoun when it is the object of the clause. Take the sentence, "The book that I borrowed is interesting." Because I am the one doing the borrowing, the book is the object. Therefore, that is totally optional. You can just say, "The book I borrowed is interesting." It sounds incredibly casual and fluent. Same with, "The man whom I saw yesterday is my uncle." You can just ditch the pronoun and say, "The man I saw yesterday is my uncle." But, and this is a big but, you cannot omit the pronoun when it is the subject doing the action. Take, "The girl who won the race is my friend." The girl did the winning. She's the subject. If you drop the who, you get "the girl won the race is my friend," which is grammatically completely broken and very confusing. So, rule of thumb, if it's the subject, keep the glue visible.
Finally, we arrive at section 5, putting it into practice.
All right, you have leveled up completely. It is time for the final boss battle. Let's look at a practice round and see how this builds using everything we've learned today. So, here's step 1, our choppy sentences. This is the restaurant, and we had dinner there. Okay, so we have a place and an action that happened at that place. Which glue do we use for places? You guessed it, the relative adverb where. In step 2, we fuse them together. This is the restaurant where we had dinner. Boom! We completely eliminated the clunky word there and created one seamless, beautifully structured sentence.
Let's try just one more. Step 1. The man is my uncle, and his car is red. We have a person, and we have something that belongs to him, possession. If you recall our rules from earlier, the glue for possession is whose. So we drop the his and lock it together in step 2. The man whose car is red is my uncle. Notice how we took the defining information about the red car and nested it right next to the noun it modifies, the man. It's precise, it's clear, and it is a massive upgrade over those 2 choppy sentences.
And there you have it. You now have the exact formula, the matrix of pronouns and adverbs, the knowledge of when to use those comma handles, and even the invisible pronoun cheat code. Relative clauses truly are the key to making your writing more natural by combining related ideas seamlessly. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. What choppy sentences are you going to upgrade today? Don't let your writing sound like a robot for one more second. Go out there, grab your grammar glue, and start building better, stronger sentences. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.